why the book of Revelation is so scary, and why it almost didn't make the Bible. There are books that comfort us, books that guide us, books that explain the past. And then there is the book of Revelation, a text so violent, so surreal, so terrifying, that for almost 200 years, early Christians argued that it should be removed from history forever. Yet somehow, it survived. And today, it stands as the most feared, most debated, and most misunderstood book in the entire Bible. But why? Why does Revelation feel different? Why does it feel darker? Why does it feel dangerous? To understand that, we need to go back to the moment it was written. A moment when the world was ruled by a power so brutal, so overwhelming, that millions believed the end had already begun. And the only way to speak against this empire was to hide truth inside nightmares. This is the story of Revelation, a book that uses horror to reveal reality. A book that speaks in symbols because truth was deadly. A book that still whispers fear into the human soul 2,000 years later. The year is around AD 95. The Roman Empire is at its peak, a machine of war, wealth, and worship. Its emperors claim they are gods. Its soldiers crush anyone who disagrees. Its laws demand loyalty from every mind, every hand, every breath. And somewhere inside this world, an old man sits alone on a rocky island called Patmos. His name is John. We don't know if he is the apostle. We don't know if he is a prophet. We don't even know if he is insane. But we know one thing. He is angry, he is grieving. And he has seen what Rome does to those who refuse to bow. So he writes, but not in normal words. He writes in visions, in storms, in monsters, in symbols that only the oppressed will understand. Because if Rome discovers what he's saying, he will die. Revelation is not just prophecy, it is resistance. A coded message hiding inside a nightmare. And every nightmare has a beginning. John begins with a warning. He says the world is about to be torn open, not by human hands, but by something far greater. He describes a door in the sky and a voice calling him upward. And when he steps through that door, he enters a reality no human being should ever see. A throne wrapped in lightning, creatures covered in eyes, a scroll sealed with 7 seals, each seal representing a catastrophe waiting to be unleashed. And beside the throne, a figure known only as the Lamb. A gentle metaphor, but holding a terrifying truth. The Lamb is not soft. The Lamb is not weak. The Lamb is the one who will open the seals and bring judgment upon the world. Even heaven, it seems, is preparing for war. When the first seal is opened, a rider on a white horse appears, but not a hero. This is conquest, empire, the hunger for control. The second seal brings a red horse, war and bloodshed. The third, a black horse, carrying famine. The fourth, a pale horse, and on it rides death with hell following behind. Revelation is not trying to scare you, it is trying to show you the truth of human history. Every empire rises. Every empire falls. And the fall always begins with these 4 shadows. John wasn't predicting one future, he was describing a pattern that repeats forever. But the horror has barely begun. Because the moment the 7th seal opens, silence fills heaven. A silence so long, it feels like the universe itself is holding its breath. Then the trumpets begin. Each trumpet brings a disaster greater than the last. Hail mixed with fire, oceans poisoned, rivers turning bitter, the sun darkened. Creatures rising out of smoke. Creatures John describes like scorpions, locusts, and iron war machines. Whatever he saw, it was not natural, and it was not meant to comfort. It was meant to shock the reader awake. But the most terrifying moment of all comes from a single number. 6, 6, 6. 3 digits that have haunted humanity for centuries. But John was not writing about a demon, he was writing about a man so feared that speaking his name openly meant death. In John's time, letters also represented numbers. When the name Nero Caesar is written in Hebrew, its numerical value is 666. John wasn't predicting a future monster, he was exposing a present one. The beast was Rome. The mark was loyalty to Rome. The image was the emperor claiming to be a god. Revelation was political. Revelation was dangerous. Revelation was a weapon against the most powerful empire on earth. No wonder early Christians hesitated to include it in the Bible. For decades, the church argued over this book. Some leaders said it was inspired. Others said it was madness. Some feared it would cause revolts. Others feared it would cause despair. Eastern Christians rejected it for more than 300 years. Even today, many refuse to read it. And maybe they are right. Because Revelation is not meant to be read lightly. It is a text that stares directly into the worst parts of human nature. Fear, violence, control, obsession with power. Revelation forces us to ask, what happens when governments become beasts? When leaders demand worship? When society trades freedom for the illusion of safety? Revelation is a mirror, and we are terrified of what it shows. But the question remains, why does Revelation still feel modern? Why, 2,000 years later, do its warnings feel like they're meant for us? Maybe because Revelation was never about one moment in history. Maybe it was about every moment in history. Every generation feels the tension. Every generation sees corruption. Every generation fears collapse. Revelation speaks to something ancient inside us, a fear written into our DNA. The fear that the world we built can crumble overnight. Not because of magic, not because of monsters, but because of humans. Yet even in the middle of destruction, John ends with hope. A new world, a healed world. A world without corruption, violence, or deception. But to reach that world, the old one must fall. And perhaps that is the true horror of Revelation. It doesn't just describe the end of the world, it describes the end of our world, our systems, our illusions, our empires, our pride. Revelation forces us to face a truth we spend our entire lives trying to ignore. Nothing we build lasts forever. Not kingdoms, not governments, not even us. The book of Revelation is terrifying not because of its monsters, but because of its honesty. It shows us the cost of power, the danger of blind loyalty, the darkness inside civilization itself. It is a warning, a prophecy, and a mirror. And in the end, the scariest part is not the beast, not the fire, not the end. The scariest part is how familiar it all feels.